Welcome to the Emerging Cybersec Professional Series at the Coffee Corner Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is data protection and security from risk to resilience. We're with us Anuj Prabhu, Data Security and Privacy Manager at Croma. In today's digital first world, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT concern, it's a business imperative. So, Anuj Prabhu is a seasoned professional in technology, risk, information security, and data protection, with experience spanning across Croma, SBI Mutual Fund, KPMG, and many more. Anuj has helped businesses safeguard their data and mitigate cyber threats. So, welcome Anuj to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you, Lan, for having me. A pleasure to meet you and have this conversation. Yeah,
Wow. So let me explain you the flow for your main coffee. It is divided into three parts: professional journey round, personal journey round, and a surprise rapid fire round, for which you have to be witty, fun, and quick. And here's the inspiration: your gift,
yeah, sure.
your organized cyber healthy, which is will be autographed and sent to you.
Great,
Okay, so let's begin.
sure.
So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal startups, SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Anuj, how has the journey shaped up and any key defining moments you had?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question, and again, thanks for having me here. So, just to give a quick summary, so again, I have close to 11 years of experience now, predominantly in the cybersecurity domain. So, I started off as a management trainee with HCL Tech. So, fresh out of college, it was my first company. So, again, so while I did learn the concepts like information security, ISO 27001, risk management, right? So that was my first step. Again, I got a chance to apply it across the clients with HCL had, right? So there I was part of the pre-sales team, wherein again understanding the customer requirements, solutioning as per their regulatory requirements, their needs, their geographies. So that was a great exposure for me from an environment perspective, also to see the processes and the activities at a huge IT service company. So that was a great learning curve. So this is where my journey began. So I had good friends and mentors as well as part of the journey who helped me guide in the initial stages. So they helped me what are the things to learn, what areas to look at. So again, the small things as well as the big things. So again, that is where first started learning more about ISO 27001, going in details. And then from there again, so again, what is the dream of a freshly graduate to work with a big four when you are in the cyber security this way? So I graduated into KPMG, wherein again I spent close to 4 years, wherein I got a chance to work on IT audits, cybersecurity assessments, ISO assessments, also on the data privacy part and the data security part, with GDPR coming into picture. That was, and also the Indian privacy bill, which was in the nascent stage. It was called PDPB that time. Now it is GPDPA. So again, got a chance to work on that as well across a plethora of clients, like from aviation to retail to manufacturing, right? So that was a good side on being on the consultative side. And then I joined SBI Mutual Fund, again, which is where I came on the other side to get more depth of things, right? So SBI, being the country's largest asset management company, gave me a good exposure to the entire gamut of security as well as privacy, also looking at a business aspect more in detail as well. So there again, I was approximately for 4 years. And then again, I got a chance to work with Tata Croma, which is like the country's biggest consumer electronics company. And again, this is where the focus is more on data privacy and data security. So again, because I thought it was a great opportunity to be part of a prestigious group, also to see be the first one where we're collecting tons of customer information, right? So I'm pretty sure you must have also purchased something from Croma, or somebody who must have purchased from Croma, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that is there. So again, so this has been like a quick snapshot. And again, in this, I've had an opportunity to work with great people Also did again from a step defining career, I got a chance to work on ISO. Then GDPR, I would say, was a very critical element for me in my career when it was starting in 2016. So that time I got a chance to implement for clients when it was going around in 2016, 17, 18, right? So this helped me to gain understanding of the privacy journey, data security journey as well. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So let's dive deep in the conversation, Anuj. Data privacy is a growing concern for consumers. How can companies build trust while leveraging customer data?
Yeah. So again, so this is a very pertinent question in today's time, right? Because we no longer live in a physical world only. So most of our activities are in the digital world, right? Be it mobile apps, website, and everything. So most of the time is now shifting from a physical interaction to a digital interaction, right? So same is the case with Croma today, right? As well as with other companies. So your first thing again is from a privacy perspective is again to build customer trust or consumer trust, to be very transparent with what you are doing with the customer's data with you have had with your handling. So again, when I say transparent, what do you mean? So for what purpose are you collecting today, right? So maybe for to give my services, to maybe some other activities, maybe even marketing today, to help my consumer understand better, to gain their insights, right? And again, giving the customer also the power to access his data and his rights. So today, if say out of 10 customers, 8 choose yes, 2 choose not to, we'll have to honor that as well. So that has been always at this stage where we have been designing our solutions and our services accordingly as well. So that is foremost the thing, which is again, I would say, consent driven and transparency, as well as the purpose for which you are again utilizing the data. If these three things are very very clear, customer is aware what my data is being used for, and again has the right to again revoke or let allow you, then that is something which any customer would be happy to know. And that is where the customer will get very happy and give a trust on you. Also, in the event, say if there is, god forbidden, any unforeseen things happen due to anything where your data does get compromised, so again, we have to be upfront. Again, transparency is the key, that this is the issue, this is what we have done to rectify it, to ensure that doesn't such a thing doesn't happen again. Instead of the customer knowing from a third party, it is better if we can have it ourselves tell communicate that. So that is the cornerstone again, empowering the customer, educating the customer, right, and giving the power back to the customer. So these are the three key elements which are again very crucial for any organization to succeed.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So my next question, Anuj, how do you balance compliance with business agility, especially in a fast-paced corporate environment?
Yeah, so this is a tricky question to ask, because there is no right or wrong answer here, right? Because the business is again for a country like India, right, which is growing rapidly, and also for a company like say Croma, which is also growing at a very large scale. So just to give you a background, we have opened 300 stores in the last 2 years across tier 2 tier 3 cities, right? So again, we have tons of things happening at our place. New stores are opening, new systems are coming up, new data is being elected. So in this scenario, right, so the key communication is collaboration, collaboration, and collaboration. So you have to work with all the teams, make them understand what we can do, what we cannot do. And because let us not say that the person will assume that this is the thing to be done. You have to communicate with them, you have to collaborate, help them understand when and where. So this is also, you will be able to win the trust of your internal teams, and in thereby you will win the trust of your consumers as well. So the two main pillars I would say here would be collaboration, again internal teams, also with my third parties and my vendors, and ensuring that we are taking these steps right steps from day zero, right, and not just putting it as an afterthought. And second would be effective communication, both externally as internally, so that again whatever the requirements are, right, so those we are addressing at the start. Even if we miss something or the other, we have to communicate, and then how can we can do a retrofix. So that is also pretty important. You will not get it right 100% all the time, but what do you do to how fast you can do, and with everybody's involvement without having a very minimal disruption. So yeah.
Wow. So, Anuj, What are the key elements of an effective risk management strategy in cybersecurity?
So see, first again, this is a very broad scope to understand, right? Because the thing is, cybersecurity and the attack surface is like expanding by the minute as we speak. So if first understanding the avenues from where I'm actually exposed to, right, be it internal as well as external. So that forms the very first thing. So again, the assessment of my risk channels or my risk avenues, right? So that becomes very imperative to start with, because that forms the foundation of the entire activity. What are the different teams or the different departments and the different applications, right, which you are working on. So assessing them, understanding how there is an interplay between the applications, the architecture which goes on. So again, after assessment comes the contextualization. So while one risk may be very high for one type of application, say for example a publicly exposed application will carry a much higher risk compared to an internal application, the same set of control, right? So this is where you contextualize, you understand the implication, and then accordingly you have to have the risk treatment or mitigation plan accordingly. So again, this is where again you will have the same band-aid will not apply everywhere, right? So same size fits all will not work. We'll have to give different sort of a solutioning to different, understanding the context again, right? So that is again an iterative process. We as a security will think about security first. My counterparts as a business team will think about business first. So
Hmm.
so this is where, how do you bridge the gap, how to make
Hmm.
sure that everything aligns with a very optimal solution based on the cost as well as from a functionality perspective, right? So this is a continuous journey, and again continuous risk monitoring, right, as I said, because the threat actors and the threat vectors will not stop. So they just, out of n times they just need to be successful once, and out of n times I need to be ensure able to protect n times. So that is where the entire continuous life cycle will keep on happening.
Wow. So, Anuj, in an era of remote work and hybrid models, what are the biggest security risks businesses should address in today's times?
Yeah. So, see, gone are the days when everybody used to come in one office, sit, work. Even if I had few vendors, I would give them laptops, my laptops only. So again, everything was concentrated. You know what your boundary was, right? So again,
Hmm.
especially in large institutions. So with COVID and also with digitization coming in, so the boundaries are basically blurred. So today you can work in any part of the world and work for me with the same amount of dedication and same output, vis-a-vis maybe 5 7 years ago before COVID also, where you have to come to office and work. So again, the boundary has expanded. I would say it has become very thin line and sort of partially blurry. So in this scenario, I first need to understand how my users are, and second, this is where the concept of actually we are trying to implement zero trust comes into picture, wherein while you give people, we empower people or the tools they need to do their work from anywhere, but you'll have to assume we take it with a pinch of salt, right? Whether there would be some sort of an element which will turn what you have not imagined to be. So again, zero trust really comes into picture. And with people working from anywhere, again the second eminent risk is to my data, right? So while
Hmm.
everything was on my servers, on my desktop, again now with cloud coming into picture also, where it is spread across everywhere. So the visibility which I have on my data, so my data security, data visibility, really comes into picture in terms of an hybrid or a remote scenario. So again, how do I understand those channels? How can I mitigate? How can I bring things onto my network or onto my domain without impacting the user experience, right? And the functionality. So that is again very important. So yes, so again I would say data security risk and becomes the primary risk in today's time. Along with, again, it is complemented, or we have to assume a zero trust philosophy. I will not say framework, but a philosophy to make sure that, assume that there is a risk and there is a breach. How fast can you soon recover? How quickly can you detect and mitigate it? Rather for some system to give me an alert saying that this looks sort of suspicious. So yeah, so zero trust and data security risk are the biggest in current time.
Wow. So, Anuj, with AI driven threats, becoming more sophisticated. How should organizations rethink their security strategies?
Yeah. So this is one question. Obviously, I don't have a right answer to, because
I know.
even we are trying to this learn every day. Because earlier, I'll simple what from one example earlier, what code, malicious code used to take maybe a week to get written and maybe to push. Now it is just coming in a matter of minutes, right? Because of AI, and it is becoming more sophisticated. So
Hmm.
so here there is a very that you have to strengthen your defenses as thoroughly as possible, because you cannot stop the attacks, you cannot stop the sophistication, but you will have to have a very robust alert mechanism, right? When But how can you have a robust alert mechanism? Only when you cover all your bases, you have a very sound system in place which are talking to each other, not just one system is talking to only one, but the other 10 are not knowing what is happening. So it is there. And also we'll have to adopt the AI and ML related solutions, because I cannot counter a legacy solution with a very sophisticated AI. So again, this is also where the contextual learning is coming into picture from our side as well. So our SOC is also getting more enhanced. So we are also understanding what are the different types of threats patterns which are coming into picture. What are, instead, say, if earlier if you say 30 minutes to understand and resolve, can I do it today in 1 minute? That is what the requirement is coming from our leadership, right? So this is where fine tuning will come into picture, learning will come into picture. We'll have to use AI, we'll have to adopt the use of AI ourselves, teach my systems and my people as well, because not everybody will be on the same page. So yes, so that is a challenge, but we'll have to embrace it and adopt it. So there is no two way about it.
Ah. So, Anuj, you have worked with SBI Mutual Fund, KPMG, HCL. How does cybersecurity differ across different industries?
Yeah, so again, there is earlier, if I have to say 10, 15 years ago, right, when I started my career, so there was not much awareness about cybersecurity overall. But yeah, when it came to, I have had the opportunity to work in a service industry and with the biggest asset management and with a retail firm, right? So service companies by default, because owing to the nature of their business, are always ahead of the curve, right? So
Hmm.
people are much more sensitized or aware about the cyber security related implications, what would happen, what would be the impact on the clients, overall in impact on the clients, what would be the repercussions on the image of the organization. So by default, as when we join as management trainees, so we have very robust sessions right from day zero to make us aware about the cyber security, and also make us understand the implication of even one wrong step, right? So that is there, and it has over. So again, from a service
Yes.
company, the awareness level is very high. Second, if you come into the regulated space, from a banking perspective, insurance, asset management, investment banking, because it is regulated space, again, the level of awareness is high. But again, it becomes, you have to keep on pushing it harder and harder. Yes, while you will, people are generally aware about what they should do, what they should not do, right? But again, you need to keep on harping on the solution again and again. And vis-a-vis, if you come to a retail side, right, which is again non-regulated today, obviously the awareness is there amongst the top leadership, that there is no denying about it. But as you go down the ladder, right, as and when the people are more towards my consumer, right, so the awareness pertaining to cyber security is something which again needs to be worked on. So that is the reason why there has to be. So if I am doing an awareness session, say maybe every quarter at my previous organization or in a regulated entity, maybe that needs to be shifted every 2 months or every month, or also the duration needs to change. A 30-minute session will not work, right? Maybe a snippet session of a 3 minute, 4 minute, so that you are constantly making people aware. You're constantly in their in their face, trying to help them understand this is what it needs to do, this is what would happen. Because in the retail sector, because the volume is so high and spread across, right? So
Yeah.
one small thing, right, I've shared one customer data on my Gmail or anything, so and somebody reports, so somebody, it would be shared out of negligence or ignorance,
Yes.
So that is the challenge, or I would say that is a differentiating or a different avenues or the aspects which again these three industries have, right? So the learning curve is again more mature at the IT services, and followed by a company like a regulated company, and then towards more consumer facing, which not really has any cyber security mandate as such, right? While the companies in principle will adopt, but again it somewhere down the line dilutes from the top to the management, and hence it is very interesting and it is challenging to work on this idea.
I understand. So, Anuj, what are the different certifications available for a cybersecurity professionals, and how does it impact the career?
Yeah. So in my career, I started with ISO 27000 certification as a lead auditor. Then I did my CISA, which is Certified Information Systems Auditor. And then I did my CISSP, and lately I've done my CIPM, which is my Certified Information Privacy Man. So certifications definitely help you a lot in your career. So because it helps you have create that mindset, which you may not have, because as you're working you're just start working in, you start specializing in one area as you work, right? So these certifications help you know what the other areas are all about. It gives you a more holistic view as to how things are. And when you talk about certifications, there are a lot. So these are the four which I mentioned. And again, everybody will have a different sort of a line which they work with, right? Some would be more into security operations, some would be more into enterprise security, other would be more in the governance side of things. So right from you have a certified ethical hacker, if you are starting out, say in the security testimonial as ethical, so that is a good step as well. Then you have product specific certifications as well, say on the cloud as well today. So you have AWS, Azure, GCP. So that those are also something which again as a starters I would recommend everybody should have that, right? At least because that's the basics. And as you are in the different line of work, do plan them out. So that is a conscious call which I have taken at least every 2 3 years in order to brush up my skills, right? You have to study, and without this certification push you don't really get into picture, because I'll be honest, these are certifications are not cheap. They will incur your cost, and also they will demand time from you, right? You cannot just say simply I'll study the way you used to do for college, right? Maybe you study 2 nights 3 nights, give the exam, and then pass it out. So here it will demand at least 8 to 10 weeks minimum. That is a continuous learning. You have to be consistent with that. And but at that, I would say right from the start, if you have that habit, right? So this automatically gets translated into your work ethic as well. So if you have to do something, you have a structured approach on that, you follow the timelines. And then also in the interim, it helps you out create a again a differentiation factor for yourself as well, right? So you would obviously a certified person will obviously by default it will be assumed that these areas the person does have knowledge vis-a-vis somebody who may not have. Both would be equally qualified, but you are the first amongst equals when you have certifications around your belt. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, from the world of cybersecurity professionals, who has influenced you and what were the key learnings?
Yeah. So, any specific person, if you were to ask me, so I have read about Ghost in the Wires by Kevin Mitnick. So that was my first exposure when it comes to started about cyber security. So that was very one person I would say which helped me out at least in the journey. And here again, so again how exactly the systems evolved, how he started hacking into from the telephone wires and everything. So that was very interesting from one person whom I've not met basically. And here from the person with whom I've interacted, again it is your first manager, your first HOD, right? Or your immediate boss, your peer. So these are the ones who constantly help you out, shape you out your career. So there is no specific one person individual, I would say, but again, it is culmination of all the organizations of people with whom you work, right? So everybody has their own different expertise which they come in. So you try to learn from that, and this is how you shape him. So that is I would say. So there is so Kevin again I can check from your starters point just to understand how things have evolved, and again all the people with whom I've worked. So, yeah.
Wow. So, my last question for your professional journey round, what's the most overlooked yet critical aspect of cybersecurity today?
Yeah. So there are two specific areas which I would like to highlight. See, one is to have a continuous assessment of getting the basics right. See, I'll be honest, because basics is again something which you have to know thoroughly, which and as you grow up the ladder, your hold on that reduces, and basics is something which gets expanded across different areas, right? Earlier it was IT audit, it was cyber, now you have AI, right? Data privacy. So those basics, unless and until you get it right, you will not be able to get a grasp of things. It will help you understand what this stuff actually is, how things work, how those intersection happens, and that is then next related to having speaking the same thing in different languages to different people. When I say that, what I mean, so my CIO or chief information officer, I need to speak to a different language vis-a-vis to my CFO, vis-a-vis to my CEO, right? Every So again, I cannot use technical. I can use a technical jargon in front of my CI or my CISO. They will be able to understand, but I cannot speak the same language to my CFO or my CEO. So this is where your basics come into picture. The contextualization which we discussed earlier, right? This will come into picture. For a CFO, it is more from a cost or a impact perspective, right? For a CEO, it is more from a business downtime perspective or business impact perspective. So how do you
Yeah.
change the language without diluting the impact or what your point trying to say? So this is what I've seen. Even I have learned myself. You cannot be neither too technical nor too 30,000 feet talking. So how do you make sure that they understand the language and within a short amount of time? Because these people will not give you more than 5 minutes of your time, and within the first minute or two, you have to make an impact so that they give you the next 4 or 5 minutes to listen to you. So
Beautiful. Beautiful.
this is I feel is something which again is something which needs to be worked on, right? Getting the basics right, and again speaking in a language the other person understands. So this is most simple to do, and again it needs constant sharpening. Yeah.
Beautiful, Anuj. Let's go to the next round and have more conversations and understand Anuj as a person also. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Yeah, so I am basically from Mumbai. I'm been born and brought up here in a Maharashtrian household. So I'm married now. I have two wonderful kids. So we stay in a joint family in Mumbai. And again, like my entire schooling, my everything journey has been in Mumbai. Schooling, my college. Then as part of my MBA, I did it from Symbiosis Pune. And then that this is like, and most of my childhood has been in and around Mumbai. So this is just me about in the formative years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, Anuj, what's a hobby or passion that keeps you energized outside of work?
Yeah. So lately it has been changed. So it is spending time with my kids, to be honest. In the last 4 or 5 years, that is something which I look forward to. Right. That is something when you need to spend time with your kids, with your family. So that is what I currently spend most of the time. And previous to that, also I used to read a lot. Now it has reduced. I have to admit. But again, yeah, reading about from current affairs to technology, from cybersecurity, this is something which I like doing and still like doing, and which has translated into books, into blogs, or now into podcasts as well. Because as and when the medium changes, but again the core remains the same. So yeah.
Wow. So, Anuj, what's one childhood memory that still makes you smile?
Yeah. So one thing again which helps me smile is again having a good time with my friends, playing cricket in the gullies and in the grounds, which unfortunately I don't see in a city like Mumbai anymore. Right,
Yeah.
all the grounds which you have are now concretized. I'll hardly find any dust related maidans today in Mumbai apart from the big ones. So that we still reminiscence about it. My friend and I, how we used to play, and yeah, so that is still I miss, and I feel sorry that my kids will not be able to enjoy that what I did.
Yes, that's true. So, who has been your biggest cheerleader from your family and friends?
Yeah, so in this, see, family's role definitely. So my parents, my wife, definitely support me a lot in my journey, because you have to spend late nights at work. Sometimes you have to, when you go
Mm.
at certifications, you have to study. So that continues. Without their support, it cannot happen. and again with your core group of friends, right from your school, your college, even your professional friends, right, your teammates now who become your very close friends. So without their support you cannot grow. They help you grow in different forms of, like, not just professionally, personally, financially as well, to understand more acumen, and now being a father, more from the parenting side as well. So that core, your friends help you out as well. Yeah.
Wow. So Anuj, your career has taken you across different cities. So
Mhm.
which city you feel most connected to and why?
Yeah. So see, Mumbai has been my karma bhumi and janma bhumi. So the Mumbai has a special place in my heart. So I will not say Mumbai, but yes, my first initial state was in Pune. So Pune is where I did my education. So Pune is a great city. Then I also had an opportunity to work with HCL at Noida. So that was my first real experience outside of my comfort zone, right? So honestly, apart from the news or perception which we have, I had a great time in Noida, to be honest. This is your first of everything. You're living an independent life. The city is also pretty nice. It is well planned city. You have all the things in
Mm.
place. You have great food, very extreme weathers, but yeah. And apart from that, I'd also got a chance to work at London, which I this is my best time. Yeah. So if you ask me to a city outside of Mumbai, I would definitely say London is something which I loved working. You loved, the city has its own charm. It is actually a melting pot of different people, different ethnicities. You get to learn a lot, and again, in and around London, you have a great opportunity to work. Yeah, so London, I would say, but again, apart Mumbai is which will never go away.
Okay. Chalo, you and me are both Mumbaikars.
Yeah.
So what do you like uh, in from क्या बोलते for visiting in Mumbai and places to have ये food from your side?
Yeah, so see, this is yeah. So again, I do keep on trying new cuisines, say once a month. So all see that the traditional. So I'm a vegetarian, so I mostly look at vegetarian cuisine, and being a Maharashtrian, so again the Maharashtrian, typical Maharashtrian places, like, say, you can have Aswad in Shivaji
Mm.
Park, which we have heard, or Prakash at
Mm.
Dadar area. So those
Mm.
are again your all-time favorites. And there again in Ville Parle, we have a few vada pav spots
Mm.
for which I have
Mm.
having since my childhood. So that is very special to me. And again, you keep on trying new cuisines here. So something, or maybe Tibetan ones. Yeah, that is great about Mumbai. You get a chance to have great
Yeah.
different cuisines. Tibetan, then Korean. Now I'm so trying to see northeastern again, but again the
Oh,
vegetarian options are very limited. So I'm just trying to see how best I can fit. So that is something which I like doing. Yeah.
wow. Okay. So what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
Yeah, see, from a professional front, again, there are two or three areas which I'm working on. One is again getting the data privacy piece, right, which is the DPDPA Act, which the government of India, which will more or less come into effect in this year, right? While we
Yeah.
have done a lot of thing, again, getting my organization ready from that standpoint. So that is priority number one, and second is priority is on the AI front, while our organization is adopting in a very strong way. So the security related aspects in AI and knowing the AI also. So these two are again connect. So this is which I'm working both on the professional front and personal front. Again is more I can learn, and my right now I'll focus is because my kids are small. I'm just trying to spend more time, at least in the next 2 3 years. Then accordingly things will change. Yeah, that is
Wow.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, we can understand. Okay, let's go to the next one. Have some fun. The rapid fire round.
Sure.
Cybersecurity or AI?
Yes, cyber in AI, that I could say.
Wow. Okay. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights,
Your go-to comfort food?
vada pav.
We Mumbaikar. Okay. Vada pav from which is your favorite place to have vada pav?
So
Daily.
so again, I stay in Ville Parle East. So it is from my school, Babu Vada Pav. I'm not sure if people are from Mumbai, they will definitely know in Ville Parle, Babu Vada Pav, or even the Vada Pav at Mithibai College
Hmm.
in Parla West. So these two I equally like. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Your favorite color?
I would say blue.
Okay. A quote that you live by?
Y- You should. This is one of my earlier HODs. Just one line which I always say. You should know what you are talking.
Wow, beautiful. One skill you wish you had mastered?
Driving. I don't know how to drive yet.
Wow. Okay. Your dream travel place?
In travel, please. So that would be maybe to see Northern Lights. Yeah, any of the Scandinavian countries. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Tea or coffee to recharge?
Yes, I do. Coffee, coffee. Sorry, can you just repeat again? Yeah, coffee.
Tea or coffee to recharge?
Coffee any day, sir. Coffee any day. I have 3 to 4 cups of
Good.
coffee, preferably black,
Mm-hmm.
to go with. So coffee any day, hands down. Yeah,
Go, you're the coffee show. One more thing, you're the coffee show. So you did well, Anuj, and here's your gift, which will be autographed and sent to you. So,
yeah.
friends, it was a lovely conversation on an afternoon time, discovering Anuj as a person and all those young cyber professionals who are into the field of risk governance, cyber resilience, data privacy, and now with DPDP coming in, this is the episode where in the retail industry you want to join in. But not only retail, Anuj has worked at various industries like finance, mutual fund, technology, HCL Tech, and so many things. So prepare yourselves. And beautiful thing, he has explained about the role of certifications, where you have to give an effort to go for the certifications. You have to toil because these certifications don't come easily, and you have to spend also, and you have to give your time also. But after you get a certifications, your career, you get a good opportunities, and you are upgraded in your knowledge. So this is what coffee speakers bring to the table, what they have went through, and in their personal journey also. And me and Anuj both are Mumbaikars, and I look forward to having what do you say, pitle bhakri at Aswad with you,
Yeah, sure.
the favorite.
Pakka, pakka.
So, so this is what a coffee speakers. And if you want to feature like Anuj, visit our website, the Emerging Forum or LinkedIn page, or ask any one of our coffee speakers like Anuj. They would refer to you to Team Coffee and invite you to have coffee conversation. So take care, and we meet with another coffee speaker having coffee conversations over a cup of coffee. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah.